Okay, so let's start with the dreams,
Yes.
because dreams are a beautiful thing. And I think in your case, it led to reality to some extent, right? So paint us the picture of the dream bridging reality.
Good. Very much. Very beautiful. So yes, it's bridging actually towards a project, towards 7th. I started out dreaming about this project, 40 lucid dreams. But actually I was busy with my other hobby in that very moment. I was writing a book on psychology.
Okay.
So this book on psychology, 1.5 book actually, finished in 4 weeks in the Bahamas. And there I had only 5 hours of sleep, which is quite normal for me. I like to have sometimes a little bit more. And in those 40 lucid dreams, I was like abducted. Very crazy to hear from people, but people have also other kinds of dreams. And this was not that bad. I was dressed up on totally white, and then I don't know where it was, but I walked in with many other people, or with 20 or so other people inside the pyramid.
That's fascinating.
Yes.
And you also talked about, was there some particular dress you were wearing, or some imagery which was,
Yeah, more or less the dress they have here. We are now in Dubai, of course.
Right.
So the dress they wear here, so the white dress, and so I was wearing the same, and we were going inside, and we were taught without words. We were taught about all kinds of things, and then I woke up again, and I was back in Bahamas. No, I was in Caribbean, back in Bahamas, and this happened for 40 nights. So 40 lucid dreams, which is a very special number, I think.
Yes. So what's the message? What was the message you received, and how did you feel about it? How did that translate for you?
In the beginning, I have to say really that it was kind of not chaotic, but more that I didn't know what to do with it. It was so much information.
Yep.
And then, but through the years, this has been 20 years already, through years, everything came out. This, and then this, and then this. I mean, in the beginning, I didn't start out with it, but I was asked by people to tell my dream.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because sometimes it's too much, for you. So, but when you share that message with people understand sometimes the depth of, what you're communicating, or the message that they think should be shared. So now that you had that journey, what's the message? And
I think the message in it is really, what the message was from the first place. To build the 10 places, to build the 17 pyramids, because it's 70, 70. In 10 places, everywhere a big one with 6 small ones, floating on the water, like the first one, like where I was 40 nights experiencing floating on the water as well. And this will help elevating quality of life. I mean, we can all have better lives, right?
Yes.
And in order to do this, we have to make different choices.
Okay.
So feed ourselves differently, maybe less stress. Different choices means, I think also that we have to work around, in a way we use in another way, pharmacy and hospitals and hospitalization, and so how to get healthy again.
But this is what you're saying is a simple thing, but hard to do. So how is 7th going to help us do this?
I think 7th can only really help, when people really understand. Because the intention next to the environmental healing, if people come there for a retreat, it will also help because the intention is there. And the intention within people will help people change. So for instance, if you have an intention that you want to change your life, and you want to change it for the better, you can only change this if you say, okay, this is my first day of the rest of my life, of course.
Yeah.
But this is my first step. I'm going to do this. So you start to make different choices.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you and I have discussed lots of, we've discussed this vision back and forth, and I think we're both, so passionate about. It's not just about elevating the quality of life. We're talking about legacy, right? We're talking about sustainability. We're talking about a different world. So these connections you and I have had deep conversations about. But, if you were to sum it up, what's our vision?
What's the takeaway? What's the mission and the takeaway?
I
think it's very important that we understand that everything lives by example. So what we see now, if we build an example in the world and an example on sustainable societies, and I would really like to add the word resilient. We can talk a little bit later on, one of the other parts in it. So resilient societies, resilient sustainable societies, instead of sustainability, then we like to sustain, and then we have the example and how we can live, what we can do in a different way to redesign together. And this actually, I think, the best takeaway you can get from 7th.
Yeah, because I'll tell you personally, right? When people talk about sustainable, it's very elusive, the concept, right?
True, yes.
And also a bit overwhelming.
True.
So if I was to ask you, 7th's gonna help us, from what I can understand, it presents an integration of a lifestyle which helps us be sustainable. Do you agree with that?
No, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
You have to integrate a different lifestyle, choosing different,
exactly
on point where you really believe in. If you do something like we did all those
just
years,
transactional things.
Exactly. You have to really change it.
That's right.
And if you change it, we change it for the better. Also in our lifestyle with the families we live in.
So, we have a beautiful vision and mission, but let's talk about the commercial. Mission. It is, of course, but being practical, we also have discussed the commercial aspect.
I'd like to talk about the commercial part.
So let's get into it.
Yes.
You go first.
I go first?
Yes.
One of the takeaways, of course, are that is 27 apartments in all the 10 places. That 27 people, VVIP we call them. So very, very important people. They have a little bit more money.
Yep.
It's for everybody, 7, but only the 27 apartments not. So those 27 apartments are really high priced, but you want to live there because it's very interesting to live there, and also extra with the energy, of course, of 7th, and to give something back to the world. And this I want to emphasize. This giving back to the world has to do with the coral. So we built the coral around the island, and they are actually paying for it, And also the water treatment, so the best drinking water. So those two aspects are actually paid by the high-priced apartments in the 27 apartments on 7th in the island, on the island. Yeah.
So can you paint me a picture? Let's say I'm that VVIP.
Oh, you are.
Which
you
we
didn't
know.
Tell me.
Which we all know I am. But
I didn't know.
Yeah. So how is my life going to be different?
Oh, really? Even if you have a lot of talent already, sometimes you just have money, right?
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. You're gonna be lucky, but anyway, you have a lot of money, and if you have already a little bit of talent, your talent will go up. So enhanced talent is one of the things, and energetic. So energy-wise, what the pyramid does. So the big pyramid with the 6 around, and the intention, of course. So your life will change. You think faster. You go faster. maybe you earn even 10 times more money.
That's right.
But it doesn't affect me because you build more coral in the world, so this is important.
But one thing we always talk about in this project is
One
that
thing you always talk about, or you, or me, or us?
us, right?
Oh yeah.
You
okay.
talk about it and I talk about it because it's part of the project.
So,
and that
part
thing,
of seventh.
part of seven.
Part of seventh. Okay.
Part of seven. And that is that everything starts from here.
True.
So can you talk a bit about that? You know, what is, everything is going to start from here at
If
seven.
everything starts from here, then it starts from, as a thought or an idea. So like the idea with the dream, you start somewhere and you build a whole pyramid. In this case, we built a whole, a whole pyramid or 70 pyramids, in 10 places, 7 and
That's
7
right.
and 7 and 7. And everything starts actually from the idea, from the thought, from the first word. Actually, logos, no?
Mhm.
So the first word in Bible or in Quran, or is actually one way or another, is the first word is very important. But actually it's not about the first, it's about words. Because if you talk to yourself, you get a positive vibration, and you get out of this positive vibration, happiness also, comes from that place.
Yep.
Then you change already your life in the right direction.
No, well, one of the things is just the big mission that we have,
Yeah.
And you don't talk about it. You do talk about it, but the team has embodied that,
True.
both the transformation internally. But let's talk about, I think what's interesting is some of the principles which guide our team, which we're planning to also transplant, let's say, to other companies. Not to be arrogant, but perhaps just a more ethical, mindful way of doing business. And this is important because we're off the grid here, right?
Yes.
So
okay, of course.
let's discuss
We started with Bridges 2000 to have it as a new circular economy company, right? And actually Seventh is of course the same. But we started already 20 years ago with this, and within the team, this confidence part. Then we work in a different way. We say, okay, we have to be ethical towards each other, and of course, also to the outside world, everywhere. And this ethos and ethics is leading us the way, right?
But isn't it just?
I think. Sorry.
Yeah, isn't it just thoughtfulness?
Of course.
And being mindful and respectful of people.
It starts all to be respectful to everybody. I don't mind if people talk about discrimination. They see always something really different. But if my kids, and I really taught them, if you don't feel good, even if it is another culture person, man, women, woman, it doesn't matter. If you don't feel good to sit next to him, but really you're tenses, then you go sit somewhere else in the bus, right?
Yes.
Because you can also have positive discrimination, and I don't like this.
That's right.
Don't discriminate. You discriminate already. So discrimination is only to understand actually a difference. There is a difference, but not to be not respectful. Be
That's
respectful, right. And be respectful means also that you follow your own guts, and that you have enough trust that you can do this. Because if you don't follow your guts, where do you end up?
Yeah, so I think there's a few connecting dots in our philosophy.
In Seven philosophy.
Yeah,
right?
which it's. I think we don't want to come across as the people who know it all. We don't. We're gonna make big mistakes.
Today we are not arrogant.
No. But also we're gonna make mistakes. But the premises should be based on good practices,
exactly.
on ethical practices, and bringing our best self, right?
Yeah.
That's something we can all commit to.
Yeah.
It's not just about Seventh. That's just something everyone can do. But in our Seventh team, it's nice to see that we try to lift each other where we have gaps.
We are like a family now.
Absolutely. Too close sometimes. Too close for comfort. We know too much. but we have
That's why
so
you
much.
said not too
Yeah,
close.
not too close.
Yeah, thank you.
But I think there's respect,
Yeah.
genuine curiosity, and love, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it
So
makes
this brings you back to the thing what you said earlier, to adventure, right?
yes,
So adventurous types, we all are in one way or another, but some are a little bit more. And but we have to know how to work around this, and yes, be respectful towards each other,
But
and
this-
help each other to elevate. So elevating quality of health, or an even quality of belief and quality elevating. No, I mean the quality elevation is within our team in all kinds of ways.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. So Hendrik, why the name Seventh?
Actually, it's a name chosen because of the book I was writing before, and has all to do with no condemnation anymore.
Ooh.
So from all the cultures we know of in the world, people are one way or another condemnating themselves or other people or their own lifestyles. So they have a lot of critic on their life, and actually you can elevate it, and if you elevate this already, then you already go to a different lifestyle. So Seventh is all about a different lifestyle. It's a different lifestyle. The other way of living
That's
is
right.
behind it, the philosophy. So the philosophy is called the other way of living, which is also going to be an example on a future society. So society where we live in 30, 40, 50 years. So I think this is about it.
Why is Seventh on water?
Seventh is on water because it needs to have a homogenic underground or foundation. So under the island is only water, and if you base it on land, then we have actually all those different energies and radiation of all the different stones and sand and whatever clay. So that's the reason, and of course all the so we have all kinds of rays in the earth, and if you have water underneath, then it's homogenic.
Okay, but what kind of impact does that create for people on the island?
Okay, homogenic in the foundation of a homogenic under the island will help that the energy will be aligned, in one direction instead of many directions.
Okay.
So if it's about Seventh, you could also ask, why Seventh has a pyramid form, right? And we built so many houses like rectangle and only with with a hood, whatever, with how we call this,
with the roof and
with a roof, different kinds of roofs. But if you build Seventh, you see this, right? And if you see this, then it's two sides, but the sides are bent inside. So you need to build less, and the energy, so the floating of the energy is totally different.
So one of the whys of Seventh that I understand is we talk a lot about combining ancestors' wisdom, and what our ancestors knew, what we've lost, and what Seventh will bring back.
That's
so you
true,
want to
yes.
talk a bit about
Of
that
course,
one,
of course,
because that's like
Seventh is legendary. I mean, the
Yeah.
forms are legendary, and all the things we actually forgot about.
Yeah.
If you have a real big problem, you ask your mother or your grandmother, right?
yes, absolutely.
So, a solution. So and if we ask our mothers, we can go back much further, like to our own ancestors. They were very wise. I mean, the Indians from North America, they were very wise. They came from the old Atlantis. And
Atlantis, you want to talk about that?
Of
Expand
course.
on that?
Yes, of course.
Because I know there's a connection between Seventh and the city of Atlantis that
There's
you
no
talk
city of Atlantis.
about. Okay, you
Never
keep
been-
correcting me.
No, that's
Yeah.
If I may,
Please do.
Okay,
You
okay.
have to.
People are talking about city of Atlantis, but
Yeah.
actually it's as large as Europe and China, or combined, or as big as Africa. With Africa is of course very large.
Yeah.
Many people don't know because they don't see the map in the right way. But Africa is a large continent, right?
Yeah.
So it's as large as Africa, and then in the middle, so Atlantic Ocean. I mean, there it was, a big country which flooded.
But talk about the connection, because
will.
you do, right?
I will.
Yeah.
I will talk about the connection. So 7 connected to Atlantis, right?
Yes.
So firstly, Atlantis Ocean came actually. Where is Atlantis? So Atlantis is ocean, Atlantis is water, right? So 7th was not thought of, but became of course from the 40 night of lucid dreams I had, right? And I had those in the Bahamas. So in the Bahamas, there's a triangle, eh? The Bermuda Triangle, right?
Yes, that's
and
right.
many people don't know how this comes across. Where it comes from, the Bermuda and the Bermuda Islands, and why there's this strange, mysterious powers, or how you can, even planes just go away, distinguish, how you can say this?
That's right, disappear.
Disappear,
Yes.
That's the word. So, but I will not tell.
Yeah,
I know that one. I will not tell right now.
That
I will tell later.
conversation-
I will tell later.
That conversation is for
Another
a different
But
time.
Atlantis, they had in a time of Atlantis, they had the land of Poseidon, but the Atlantis we will call it. They had many pyramids.
Mhm.
Right now we only know the pyramids in Egypt, right?
That's right.
But there are also 500 pyramids in China, and there are pyramids in Bosnia, we know. And there are pyramids in other places, of course, Mexico and all those places.
Peru?
Peru,
Yes.
yeah. Machu
Okay.
Picchu is actually, but it's also another way,
Mm.
but a very important place.
Yes.
So why 7th, and why this form, and how about this energy and how it came across? I mean, this has to do everything with what we had already, this legends and the legendary legacy of so many from before. So our ancestors, they're very important. It's like angels are helping us, because this is really a monstrous big project, of course. 10 places like this, 10 islands. Those islands are so large, and then I can only tell that it needed, of course, like this special tree. This tree. The how do you call the tree?
Which one?
30 meters in the ground and 150 meters high.
Baobab tree?
No, it's the trees are all connected. It's I will come across
That's it.
in one of the next episodes. We will tell.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
That's
Sounds good.
Thank you.
So let's talk a bit about 7th being a sustainable project.
Yes.
What does that mean?
It means the world for many people, of course, and of course also for ourselves.
Yeah.
In this case, it will be an example on sustainable societies, right? And so we have the best drinking water. So if we built actually the drinking water from another system, so not the normal osmosis system, but a different one. So this means also that you don't make the water more salty, which is very important. And the other thing is that we have, for instance, we can do it 100% autarkic. We will not do this, a little bit less, but still it's very important. And we can use, even for fuel, our bio, the things which come from the vertical
Okay.
farming.
Yep.
So it's burnt, and we get warmth out of it, or cooling, because out of warmth you get cooling. And we use different kinds of cooling. So we have an earth, wind and fire concept,
Yep.
which is totally new to the world, but actually very old, implemented in our system in 7th. And this is so new in one way or another that people say, okay, can we also use this in other places?
Mm-hmm.
Next to this, we have 3 different research centers and laboratories. Those laboratories and research centers, they work together. And the research centers, they research on energy, for instance. The other research is on health, on healthcare, on health actually that we have better treatments and also better materials, better products to take care of our bodies, to stay healthy. And the third thing is on food. So I mentioned already the vertical farming.
Yes.
And the vertical farming, you have to implement this in the right way, but also the seed can be better, can be enhanced, the way of farming can be enhanced, and also the products will be better and better after time. So there are lots of different products and a lot of different angles that you can really, that we can really show that it is really an example on sustainable societies, for sustainable society for the futures.
I mean, the way I think about it is that there are different elements to it, right? But also it comes from this mindfulness, right? We discussed this with the architect yesterday. It's about putting things in place with some consciousness, with some thought, with some love for the earth, right?
So seventh is all about love for the earth,
exactly,
and for everything living on it.
That's right.
Even for the materials we use to build it, and after for the materials and the rooms you live in, because it is very important, I think. Even the wood structure we use.
That's right.
The wood structure, it will actually communicate with you after it's being built. So seventh will be an example in many ways on sustainable societies, and also in this way that how you talk about, how it will be treating the world for the better. So the environment will go, the quality of the environment go up.
That's why we have elevated living, right?
Exactly.
Let's talk a bit about the structure, because that's fascinating. Well, I'm
really
talking.
Know?
I really want to know. I mean, anytime you talk about 7 pyramids, and we talk to people in partners and meetings about the 7 pyramids.
True.
It's instantly fascinating, right?
Yeah.
So walk us through, what 7th actually looks like.
7th looks like. 7th will be, if you come, there are different purposes. We talked the other day about differentiating, and so we have different groups which are interested to see 7, to come to the island, to experience everything what's to experience over there. But how it looks, and you were talking about construction before, so it's the construction is wood, aluminium, with glass. But you see the 7 pyramids. But if you come to the island, you drive through the tunnel, and then you see the wadi, or you enjoy the wadi. You are driving still on the bridge, on the Golden Gate. Then you see the wadi on both sides. So it's a little bit of,
It's a fantasy.
Exactly.
But come true.
Exactly. So you go in there, and then you see this, all those palm trees all around, palm trees. And then you drive in it, and you see light. You go to the left or to the right. You go to the left, and you see this light, and there is a big fountain, right? It's one of the entries of you have 4 entries: the hotel side, the side for the conference, of course, the side for the healthcare, and then the 4th side is, of course, for the people, the VVIP who live there. Hotel and living people who live there. It's
That's
very
right.
important. So
in the pyramid.
It's in the big pyramid, right?
That's right.
So the 6 others are a little bit more privacy. More privacy you will have in the 6 other ones, which are located around. So if you go to one of those entrances, it's either where you come for, of course, and then you go in it, and then you experience what you want to experience.
Yeah.
You experience, of course, nice architecture, and there's fountains and the light, and if it's evening, you see the LED on the side, and you see the different images you want to see. And if you go to the park, so if you go 1 level, 2 levels up, it depends where you are getting in. You go to 2 levels up, you are in the park. So you take a walk in the park. So you walk the park, and
literally
you see all those. Here it will be a little bit different than in the next place. We have these 10 places, of course. So it will be on the culture of the country what you will experience, because there you can have teaching I would not say, but teaching about the legends, about the ancestors is very important. So you walk around and you see all those fountains, you see water, you see the pyramids, and you see also the different stages. So all stages. So stages where there is one person or only the system is talking to you.
Yes.
And you can stop there, and it gives you some information about the world and how to live more sustainable lives. So
Amazing.
change societies, right?
Yes.
So and if you come for a congress, okay, you have a congress. If you come for a wellness experience, you go to the wellness. If you want to go for a treatment or a retreat, you have to go for the entrance, of course, for healthcare entrance.
But every experience is a seventh experience.
It's
there.
all seventh experience.
Yes,
And
it's
then
all.
the last thing, maybe what I need to express, because there's much more to see. Then you maybe two, okay? one you can go around, and this is the boulevard.
That's right.
So we have the Saint-Tropez Boulevard, and this Saint-Tropez Boulevard is with all the back sides of all the yachts, so the beautiful yachts. And if you want to experience one of the yachts, you rent them or you go on board, possible. And so you have also the cards, the different beautiful
That's
cars
right.
downstairs.
That's right.
And of course the layered, how you say this vertical grow, of course. And but if you want to experience the water with a sailing boat, you can rent a sailing boat and you go there. Or if you
Drift off.
Exactly, drift off.
Yes.
And one other experience, so the second one, I promised you too.
Yes.
Then you can go inside the pyramid. You can of course have a normal tour, and you can also go to the heart room. And the heart room is on the third, that's 70 meters of height on the level on the. It's actually the entries will be on the 5th or on the 6th,
Okay.
either. It depends a little bit. Then you have a 40-meter dimensional. It's totally from wood and with all kinds of crystals. You go in there for 50 minutes only on your bare feet or socks, and it's total silent, and you feel elevated inside. You come outside and you feel like a different person. Yes.
Yeah. That actually takes me to the
I
next
hope you
question.
like this. Did you like the experience?
I like.
We go for the next experience in the next one. We go for the next one.
Let's go for the next one.
Okay.
But also, we as a team have walked ourselves through
Yes.
this experience, and everybody, experienced different
The
things
seventh
in a
experience,
different
right?
way.
Yeah.
It was just amazing.
Yeah.
But it also takes me to the next question, which is, we talk about energy a
Yes.
lot,
Yes.
but for some
Seven
people,
and energies, they belong together.
they're together.
They belong together. Really.
And we get it somewhat, but I think for some people it's hard to understand, right?
I understand this.
They can't connect to the concept of a structure bringing energy to their lives
Yeah.
and elevating their thinking or being. So
True.
can you talk about energy?
Yes,
a
of
bit
course.
more?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, most important is, of course, your intention. Everything starts with a thought, right? So the logic, logic choices. And if you're in the pyramid or around, you experience these special energies of the geometric sizes. So if you live in a normal house, this is only maybe has whatever roof it has, but it has always much lower energy
Yes.
than the environment and the housing, the pyramid shape. The pyramid shape, because of this geometric sizes and angles and so on, this will give the power. This will give the lifting power inside your body, inside your experience. You feel more light if you're there. On the other side, it's even more dynamic. But more dynamic is not really the problem. It's to go around with the energy, right?
That's right.
And if you go around with the energy, you have to have some things, 5 things to understand how you work your way around. And these are actually all things on respect. So it's very easy for people. And further, there are everywhere in the buildings, there are crystals. So those crystals, 3 crystals, they work together. And if the crystals work together, do this, then actually one way or another the building is cleaned, or you feel better in a room. You use your incense, for instance, if you're home, or your candles, or both of them, and you put some nice music, right? And then you invite the
You
people.
shift the aura, right? You shift
Yes, the aura. And if you talk about aura, thank you very much.
Yeah.
This is really like the aura of the pyramid is really, I mean, it's unbelievable. This has different kind of colors and this energy. So you feel already like a retreat if you enter the island.
And so, I mean, we talk about boosting people, right? So there's
Those 7 boosts you're going to talk about. Huh?
7 boosting, elevating people.
Yes.
And these boosts seem to be coming from, not seem to be, we designed them to come from the structure, the energy,
True.
from the focus on health. So this is why it's an integrated approach to life, right?
Yeah. True. It's an integrated one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all integrated. So if you boost people, you have to boost them in the right way, in the
That's
right
right.
direction. So we do this, on the island to have crystals all over everywhere. I said this, in the other take. So crystals everywhere in the pyramids, so we can clean, everywhere. What I said already, but also you feel that you are connected to those crystals in one way or another. And actually, if you see your body, you see it's all like minerals, and the body. There's like ingredients which feed the body, right? So all those different compartments are actually working together.
Together, yes.
And this is a co-creation, which we really going to experience, because in the next couple of years, what I also see already and what I also experienced already is that we not only think more deeper, but also in a different way. So we are connected in a different way to the energies we experience or we not experience. And if we connect to the energies we experience and we really experience, then they have also those thin layers of energies. And then this will give you a big change, because everything is about details, right?
That's right.
So I reckon this will be a big change for all people in the world if they experience 7th. And I would invite everybody, come to 7th and experience it.
It will be hard to miss, right? It's such a,
True.
large floating island, cannot be missed, iconic, visionary, energy giving, energy boosting. It has so many different elements.
Yeah. So come to 7th, we will boost you.
That's right.